finisher he's becoming.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh! That's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.
Gonna run it down. He goes with it. Adebayo for the win.
Yeah, welcome to the 5 Reasons Sports Post Game Show, aka the Post Up on 5R. I'm your host, Roy Lay Shepherd, and with me today I have my man Jonathan Rumlicon, Ricky J. Mark, and Gadiel Cartagena. First thing we're going to do is start the show off with the $5 dono for the Duncan is a bum. As always, my brother, that comment is always welcome until he cleans some things up. But tonight is not about Duncan Robinson. Tonight is about a very different player. But before we get to him, let's talk about some of the sponsors that we have of the 5 Reasons Sports Post Game Show. The first of which we're going to do tonight is CPT Florida. If you have a small business and you have any IT needs, please visit cptflorida.com. They can help you with phone services. They can help you with camera services. Anything that requires a connection to the internet, plugins, Wi-Fi's, all that kind of good stuff and junk, you can visit cptflorida.com and they will get you straight. Now, you guys all know who the primary sponsor of the 5 Reasons Sports post-game show is, but we got something very special tonight. I am not going to do the promo ad. Tonight, we will have this done by the one and only Miss Lynette, who we're welcoming to the show. Welcome to the show, Miss Lynette. How are you doing tonight?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here today. So, my name is Lynette Drummond, and I am the owner of Aggressive Insurance Agency. We are an insurance agency that's been serving South Florida for over 16 years. We represent some of the leading carriers in South Florida with strategic emphasis on automobile insurance, homeowners insurance, and life insurance. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, or if you're getting a new place to call your own home, give us a call at 954-581-8800. We have agents standing by, ready and able to serve you, okay?
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, we really appreciate you for being here with us, Miss Lynette. And we appreciate you for sponsoring this show. We know sometimes it's always a little difficult to find people to sponsor the type of content that we do. But you have been a wonderful ambassador for us, so we thank you for that. And we're glad to have you here. So let's get to some of these donos before we get started. David Sasson, thank you for the $5 dono. He said, I think he's talking about Gabe was going to be a car salesman next year. What the fuck was that? It was magic. You hear me? Go to the next one for me, Jonathan. Thank you, Prop by Pack TV, for the $2 dono. He said, Gabe done turned into a decent backup. LOL. Never knew. Listen, bro. We all were praying and hoping. Oh, it was one of us who knew, though. It was one of us who knew.
Stuck through the dark times. Went through the muddy waters. One man stayed the course.
Yes, indeed. And let's talk about that one man. Gadiel Cartagena. Talk about the Heat savior tonight. Brother Gabe Vincent.
I'm almost speechless. I want to cry right now. I'm so fucking proud. You have no idea. This is literally unbelievable. Listen, I completely was in belief that we were going to end up losing this game. Our stars were playing horribly. We don't have Hero to come and just like light a fire and up everyone's ass by hitting some tough shots.
So was Ethan.
It was Ethan. Of course, Ethan, as soon as he starts saying that the Heat are going to lose, they go ahead and win the game. Gabe Vincent. Like, do we need to say anything else? This man, he's been stepping up. Like, this is not something that's new to today, right? Like, we've seen this a few times. We've seen it in stretches. But when you need it in a game where nothing is working and you're playing against a really good basketball team and you come in the fourth quarter and that's what happens? Oh, my gosh. Credit to this man, because this man's name has been slandered, dragged through the dirt. He just got Anthony Edwards nuts in his face, and he bounces back like this. This is an unbelievable – there should be a fucking 30 for 30 on what Gabe Vincent just did to the Bulls tonight. And I know it's just a regular season game. I don't care, right? I literally do not care. This man's name has been dragged through the mud, and he pulled up when we need him to most. So credit to Gabe Vincent. There's other players we can give credit to. But Gabe Nnamdi Vincent gets my credit tonight. This man was truly unbelievable. And not to overreact, this is a player becoming a rotation player for the Miami Heat, which is what we desperately need, especially at that guard position. So this is a big game for him, but I think this is also a development for the Heat, which is quite positive because they've been having a lot of unplayable players. So give Gabe his respect. I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy right now. This is
I
unreal.
want to kind of pump the brakes on the whole rotation player thing. I think
The 10th man? He can't be the 10th man, Royal?
sure he can be the 10th man, but
He was the first man tonight.
Listen, when Victor Oladipo and Tyler Hero are in this rotation, Gabe is going to be the guy to get squeezed out
And
of
what
that
if Victor
rotation.
Oladipo has a night where he's hurt?
That's what we're speaking into existence.
That's what
No,
has
absolutely
been. That's
not.
what,
I wish
that has
Victor
what's
Oladipo
been-
the speediest and healthiest of
Well,
recovery.
Ricky, to his point, that's what's been the reality the entire year. Like Victor
He's played
Oladipo.
52 games since 2019.
I'll be the first to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Don't mind me for the 199. Don't know. He said the Bulls for sure forgot what side of the basket was on. I don't know. Like, this was an uncharacteristic game for the Bulls, and I want to make sure that we give credit to that. Like, they played a little sloppier than we're accustomed to. They turned the ball over a whole lot more. Thank you, Rafael Rodriguez, for the $2 dono. If you're going to give me money, say something so I can let you have your say in here. Thank you, Alex Campbell, for the $9.99 dono. He said, I've slandered half Gabe, so here 10 for the game.
Tell you what, send another cent, and then you can fix that.
Yeah, clean that up a little bit for us. Thank you, David Sasson, for the $5 dono. I'm just taking your job right now, Jonathan Ramadan. My man Namdi was parting the defense like Moses parted the Red Sea. Again, what the hell? By the way, Teletubby Jokic says hi. I'm pretty sure that my boy Ramadan got that back there in the cut somewhere. Miss Lynette, give us your thoughts on the overall game.
Well, it's a team sport, right? And I felt like with Tyler Hero being out tonight, that somebody had to step in and pick up the slack. And I'm glad that it was Gabe Vincent. I thought that we should have got a little bit more from Caleb Martin. Like, I don't know why he didn't really play much in the second half. But overall, it was a great effort. Lowry and Jimmy, came through in the end. I mean, I was really concerned because in the third quarter, they really weren't doing much. I think they only both combined had 18 points between them. So I was waiting for them to get a little bit more aggressive, which they finally did. And we pulled the win out. So that's what matters.
I like that.
He got aggressive like A insurance. My man.
That's correct.
Man,
That's a plug and a half.
look at you, Jonathan Ramadan.
What's with Dedmon's temper, though? That's a little bit concerning. I mean, it looks like he's always angry, and then he gets ejected.
Well,
he
He
hasn't-
gets these defensive and offensive threes. No matter, like, he's just his dementia kicks in and he just forgets that he's in the paint. Like,
It's been a week since he's been to the shop, so he's a little cranky when he's away from there for a while. He hasn't washed his jumpsuit in like a week. It's bad all around.
Thank you, David Sasson, for the $2 dono. I think the UFC is about to sign the Mechanic. Listen, guys, the Mechanic is a great name. Wrong show. All right, just put that out there. That's not our name for him. Alf's over there talking about it somewhere soon. Like, watch him after you get finished watching us. Jonathan Ramadan, give me your thoughts on the game, brother.
this is my thoughts on the game.
More.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't win this game without Gabe Vincent, but to Miss Lynette's point, it's a team game, and I felt like there were different parts of the game that different players had their shine. I felt like early in the game, Caleb Martin had some good moments. Kyle Lowry came out really strong. I felt like probably the second most important person on this team behind Gabe tonight was probably Coach Spo. I felt like his defensive adjustments throughout the night to help limit DeMar DeRozan after he got scorching hot in that third quarter was really important. Going to that zone really just confused and frustrated the Chicago Bulls. So I felt like Coach Spo did an excellently coached game. I know a lot of people talk about him in Coach of the Year discussions, but don't really mention him game to game. So I felt tonight was really a good game. And we talk about his lack of changing his rotation as well. I feel like we've seen a little bit of a shift where he's becoming more – I mean, it's also forced because of the injuries, but he's becoming more flexible with his rotations. We see him stick with the hot hand and did not pull Gabe after maybe missing one of the shots that he, was close to hitting in that fourth quarter. So it was good game from well-coached game by Coach Bo, great game by Gabe Vincent. And Kyle Lowry, although he started really weak, that fourth quarter was absolutely insane for him as well. He had a couple of really, really intense threes.
Yeah, I think to your Coach Spo point, I think the most obvious moment for Coach Spo was out of that timeout late in the game where they kind of had everybody kind of like shoot up the court. Bam was already in the backcourt as a decoy, but then they threw the ball in Gabe, and he got the easy bounce pass so that Lowry could get the easy layup. Great moment. Thank you, Christian Carters, for the 199. Don't know. He said Jokic built like Snorlax. The fuck you mean? King Ricky, give us
Yes,
your
sir.
thoughts on the game, brother.
So Gad is not the only one that's super excited about Gabe Vincent. If you go back, you might find some complimentary things said about a certain guy who I actually thought was related to me last season. But that's neither here nor there. I think it should be said that Gabe Vincent. It's no coincidence that Gabe Vincent turned out to be a savior for this team after having died 3 days ago. I don't know if that's a coincidence. Check the calendar. 3 days ago, he died in Minnesota. He rose again in the second city. I don't know.
Is it
Are you
Easter
calling
yet?
him? Are you calling him Lazarus?
No. What? I mean, I did. The savior references. I was making kind of like a. But okay, that's cool. I mean,
Jesus?
they were. It is what it is. It's
The
it's,
Miami Messiah.
Ooh,
The hot dog's been made, so now the moment's gone. But yeah, look,
Nigerian Christ. I like that.
I think it works very well to see Gabe Vincent perform the way he did tonight. I'm personally happy to see it because he's what Miami needed. However, what needs to be said also is that I don't think he would have needed to score almost 20 points tonight
Uh-huh.
if the 6'9" max contract that Miami currently has on its roster had more than 10 points tonight.
He did it.
Okay.
He had 9.
Like I said, if he had more than 10, we wouldn't have needed
I'm
Gabe.
gonna start calling him 9 attempts.
Yeah, because 13.
He's never getting it on the nights like this. It's always he's at 9. He's not in double digits.
Yeah,
And
it's
everybody off.
madness. I mean, there is no excuse for why I didn't hear Bam's name at all from Eric in the second half. I'm pretty sure I didn't hear it. I don't know how involved he was at all. He scored 9 points. This is. We don't know what Lowry's going to give us every night. He's 35. He's going to be 36 in March, if I'm not mistaken. Bam is 24, 25 years old. Go play. If you're hurt, sit out. Otherwise, we expect max production out of you. I know that we've been going back and forth on Bam, and he's hurt. And I've been saying this, too. There are certain things that take away your rhythm, such as knee issues. But at this point, no, this isn't funny anymore. This is a Bulls team you might actually be playing either in the first or second round. And if Bam pulls stunts like this, where he's not looking at the basket, I thought we left that behind last season. But Miami's going to be in trouble because you're not going to get this out of Gabe every night. As good as he is and as hardworking as he is, Gabe's not that guy. He's a third-string point guard that every 6 games will give you this.
Well, he kind of gave it to you for 4 of the last 5. I can't lie.
You've been in double digits.
Okay. All right. Well, then when the season's over, let's pull up Basketball Reference and see how many of those games he had.
I'm just
stretch
Ricky,
them out.
I'm just saying.
I hear
4 of the
you,
last
but
5, double
right,
digit.
but that's 4 out of the last 5, not over the course of the season. He's not going to be getting 4 out of the last 5 games money in the
You
offseason.
never know. He could be turning the corner right now.
Or he might fool Miami like Duncan Robinson did.
Woo! That's a conversation to be had.
Listen, bro. You spitting that, Kane. Thank you, Corus, for the $5 dono. He said player of the games for the Bulls is Dwayne Dedman. He led the Heat again with 3 turnovers and 1 ejection at the backup center position. No words. I don't think Dwayne Dedman was as big of a problem as
I think he was.
like a big problem.
I
Sure,
think in the minutes that he was playing, like it was bad in my opinion. The offense looked lost, and then the times that they would actually give him a good pass, I mean, he couldn't catch anything, couldn't catch boards. He had those possessions where he was getting offensive boards, but I don't know. I think Dedman getting ejected from the game and not coming back might help
blessing.
a little bit.
Right, Mr. Lynette. I'm gonna throw this to you then. How did you feel like Dwayne Dedman? Or I mean, of course he was bad, but what did you think about Dwayne Dedman's game tonight?
No, I didn't think he played well at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think he's always good for having 2 or 3 legal screens a game, and he always gets them when we're on a run to get back in a game.
Indeed.
Or if somebody makes a 3 and all of a sudden it gets taken away because Dedman, causes an illegal screen. So I don't like his basketball IQ. And frankly, I know we're not paying him much, but that doesn't mean he can't, do what he needs to do and do it well. So I don't Yeah, I'm not crazy about Dedmon. I didn't like what he did today. And that's it. Yeah.
I think games like this illuminate the value of a Markieff Morris, where it's kind of like if one thing isn't working in terms of your power rotation, you can switch to something else. Go to that. I think Jonathan Ramakan is over there working on something. So he's
I just
missing.
finished.
Oh, okay. He's missing all the dono. He said, thank you, John James, for the $4.99 dono. He said most of Bam's rebounds are fighting his own teammates for uncontested rebounds, and most assists are passing out because he won't or can't shoot. Good point. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. Oh shit. Josue Martinez for the $1.99 dono. He said Duncan Robinson, more like Duncan 90 Inus. Give me $2 more and try it again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich Organics, for the $4.99 dono. He said if Duncan would take a couple of dribbles towards the basket instead of forcing a three with hands in his face, he would be more effective for us.
Okay.
Duncan Robinson did do some of that tonight, though. He did. He kind of made a few drives. Hit a floater in the lane.
This wasn't a terrible game from Duncan. Like I was fine with the way he played.
Donuts are more effective, Rich.
I think this game wasn't like the reason that we don't have to highlight Duncan this game is because we got solid shooting from other places. Like we got solid shooting from Strus.
It just took a damn long time.
Yeah. We got solid shooting.
Yes, there we go.
They both black, but that's another conversation.
That's good. That's content right there. Fuck culture minutes. Let's get culture communion in this bitch.
Just pull up them old images.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, we talked about the savior. I had to do it.
Hey man, we're gonna start having Gabe Vincent hymns on this show once in a while. Mr. Matt, before we let you go, I want you to kind of host the show for a little bit and kind of take us on whatever direction that you want us to go in talking about this game.
Oh, thank God, new leadership.
Yeah. Well, overall, I think there's some things that are still concerning, like we said about Kyle Lowry. I mean, I'm still not comfortable with what I'm seeing from Kyle Lowry at 21 games in. I mean, Ethan did a podcast, the pregame, and he talked about, someone said something about, well, he's 36 years old and we're never going to get the Toronto Kyle Lowry no. We're paying him how much? We need to be getting a lot more from Kyle Lowry, and that's very concerning to me right now.
Yeah, so let's have the Kyle Lowry conversation. Kyle Lowry tonight shot 7-13, 19 points, but we all know that most of that came in the fourth quarter. And early in the game, he was being more aggressive, getting downhill, driving to the basket. But this was mentioned, and I'm not going to say by who or from where, but it doesn't seem like Kyle Lowry is able to get by anybody. And that is increasingly becoming a concern for me in terms of the way he's going to be helped produce for us offensively. Excuse me. Ramakan, talk about Kyle Lowry, bro.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, he's having a really tough time getting past anybody. It's almost like how we saw Goran start to decline, having a harder time getting to the rim. It's the same thing happening with Kyle, and since he's not able to get past anybody, they don't have to overcommit running forward, and he's not able to kind of pull back and take those little step back mid-range jumpers that he was pretty good at as well. We really haven't seen much of that mid-range all this year. The three-point shooting picked up in the fourth quarter. Obviously we don't win this game without him either. I believe 6 or 7 minutes into the fourth quarter, Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry were the only two guys that scored at all. So he definitely was instrumental to us winning this game, but I think as a collective, we understand that he's going to push the pace, right? He's going to facilitate the ball. He's going to be a game manager. But what else is he going to do now, right? His shooting is kind of streaky. When he shoots it, I really don't have the expectation that the shot's going to go in. I just don't have that feeling yet. And his playmaking is just kind of the only thing he's falling back on. I think outside of that, he's having a tough time producing offense for himself. And I think that's something that's going to need to be figured out by him, because if he's not going to be that, third or fourth option for the Heat, it's going to be tough to have somebody else fill in. I mean, Hero taking a big step up right now, but we'd expect Lowry to, like Miss Lynette's point, we're paying him a lot of money. He needs to be stepping up too.
No, for sure. Mr. Nat, we're going to go ahead and let you get up out of here. Really appreciate you for joining us. One more time. Awesome job, Nat. Awesome job.
It's not a coincidence that we win when she comes on.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a great evening. All right. That was wonderful. Oh, see, look at it. He put in, took out. Let's get to some of these donuts. We got a couple of them up here. Thank you, Jason Adebayo, for the $4.99 donut. He said, y'all always use the switching defense as an excuse for Bam's poor rebounding, but what about the rebound Caruso got over him? That was pretty embarrassing. Not even going to lie.
He's not high pointing the ball. Like I know Ricky, I'm with you on the whole injury thing. If he's playing, he needs to just play, right? You need to produce when you're on the floor. That's the bottom line. That's how it is in the NBA. If not, we'll be putting context then next to every single player's career. But there is not a lot of high pointing going on with Bam. There's some times where he's jumping early, jumping late, jumping at the wrong time. It looks wonky. His rebounding looks wonky at times, and it looked wonky tonight.
So thank you, Rich Organic, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said, "Oh, Ricky, this is confidence for you, so you read it, brother."
Ricky needs to give Heat Nation his next comment in French. Tu vois, le gars, que Kyle Lowry a presque 36 ans. C'est pas une surprise. There's your comment. How about that? You see that Kyle Lowry is almost 36 years old. Don't be too surprised. Seriously, though, I think, and I know, just like the whole Lowry complaining thing, this is going to be an inevitable conversation, just like that bad kid that you know at one of these days, the cops are going to show up. Is this your son? Like, hello? Here's the thing. Kyle Lowry, the Miami Heat signed Kyle Lowry, a 35-year-old Kyle Lowry, to a 3-year, I think it was $86 million contract. Sooner or later, he's going to start showing his age.
He's showing it now, in my opinion.
Most of Heat Nation was stoked. I was pleased, but they were stoked when they signed Kyle Lowry, thinking, man, championship contention. Yeah, cool. They looked real good the first game of the season, as most elder statesmen tend to do. The very next game, he misses because he's hurt. That's what happens when you're a little older in the NBA. And now we're having issues about he can't get past anyone. What does that sound like to you? I'm not trying to be a doomsayer or anything like that. But after age 32 in the NBA, most players start to do this. What was it? When did the Raptors win the title? 2 years ago? That was arguably the
Ricky, can I ask a question though?
Sure.
I might be the only one. I think Lowry looks fine when he goes downhill. It's just he's not really looking to do that as often. I really didn't have that much of a problem with Lowry up until the third quarter. I think the third quarter is when I was frustrated. But the first half, he was getting downhill. He was trying to get people open. I thought he was playing a good game. Defensively, was it a perfect game? I don't think so. But we're not really getting that from Kyle Lowry. But it was not a negative. I don't think Lowry was a negative at any point. I don't know. I feel like we're maybe harping a bit too much on what Lowry looked for a small part of this game. There was moments when he needed to. He was able to get to the basket.
Listen, this is what I believe. I believe that with Kyle Lowry, everything about his game, and it's one word that's been used that I think perfectly encapsulates what it should be: situationally. I think Kyle Lowry could be situationally aggressive on offense. Mm-hmm. Tonight, he was good in situations that we needed him to be good offensively. We shouldn't be somebody at the barbershop. We shouldn't be looking. The boy Ricky about to get a fade on the stream. We should never. We should be looking for Kyle Lowry to kind of pick his spots when he can effectively be good in the game. And I think that's kind of what it was.
He was fine. He showed up when we needed him to. So thank you, Kyle Lowry, for that, right? I was really, really happy with the way that he closed that game. Between Gabe and Lowry, because we're not accustomed to seeing that from either one of them, this was another out-of-body experience in the fourth quarter for me. I literally was floating because we don't get this often. We do not get this often. We just beat a damn good team off of players that we really shouldn't have won this game, but we did. And I think that means a lot for where last year we lose this game by 20. And that's I think is the difference where you needed Lowry to kind of settle things down. Maybe Gabe was the one to start it, but Lowry ended up carrying it all the way until the end. And then they maybe had some problems closing the game, but that's a discussion for another segment.
I think when it comes to players that Miami signs, I think Heat fans have this thing where they get overly excited and they start expecting the world from players. And as soon as they don't meet those expectations to the T, it's let's trade this guy. Let's get him out of town. He's trash.
I'm sorry about that.
Example. No, this you're fine. I mean, this is in response to some bad play, but you know how fickle these Heat fans can be sometimes. Example is when Miami signed Mike Bibby in 2011. thinking he was going to be 2002 Mike Bibby that gave the Lakers work.
Thinking
Or
about
even
Mike Bibby in the Heat
2008.
uniform. Thinking about Mike
Well,
Bibby in the
yeah.
Heat uniform give me heartburn, bro.
I'm just saying, but that's the thing. It's like y'all thought he was going to be 02 Mike Bibby. Oh yeah, easy title. He wasn't, because it had been like 10 years. It had been a while, right? So with regards to Kyle Lowry, I'm just saying, just to spare y'all the frustration of expecting him to be 2019 eviscerating the Warriors, Kyle Lowry, he might not be that guy anymore. He might not be that guy anymore. No, I think most of us here are reasonable, but y'all, hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. So if you feel pressed because I'm saying this, probably applies to you. But it's just, I think with Kyle Lowry, expect that.
I've been one of the people at the forefront saying that we need to get louder on Kyle Lowry. I just feel like tonight isn't one of those nights that we need to be loud on Kyle Lowry, because if we're loud on, bad, Kyle Lowry was good tonight, like in the spots that we need to be good.
Yeah,
so I want to do that.
He's one of the reasons we won this game. I'm happy with the way he played.
Question everything. Thank you for the $2 donut. Said those weren't Clippers, were they, Ricky? Yeah, Ricky. I think everybody's intrigued. Are you at liberty to disclose what that vibrating thing was?
The vibrating thing?
The noise. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the laundry.
The dryer. Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not so bad. Ramakan, I want you to jump in here. Some $1 for fun for the Photoshop fund, $1.99. I'm sorry to tell you, John James, that money's going to everybody. Thank you, Renee Blunt for the $1.99. Don't know. Said Heat without Tyler 2-0 thus far.
And there it is. That's how it starts.
Hey man, my guy wasn't here. We will not slander him.
Wearing that?
Nah, he didn't play tonight. We don't have to talk about him. I'm not wearing it, but it's here. It's right. It's here. It's here. Jason Adebayo, thank you for the $4.99. Don't know. He said, I don't care. I don't know why we're all surprised that Lowry folding down the stretch of games he did for years in Toronto. Hey, you got
until Kawhi showed up.
Okay, this is another stupid narrative. Like, there's good and bad games as well. Like, if you want to talk about Kyle Lowry in one of the biggest games of his career, let's talk about the Game 7 they talked about on the beginning of the Heat broadcast tonight. He had, 35, 6 and 8 or something? In Game 7,
an inferior team.
Like, I feel like...
They were supposed to beat Miami.
We're trying to push these narratives on Lowry. Like, I'm honestly I'm happy that he ended up showing up tonight. This is something this team needs so badly. We need Lowry to step up in moments like this so badly, and he finally did it. I feel like we're talking about what he maybe didn't do for a stretch of the game and what he hasn't done in the other, 19 games of the year sometimes. Let's focus on, we just beat a good Bulls team without one of our best players and our best scorer.
Yeah.
Hey, I gave Bam smoke before I got to Lowry, so.
It's true. It's true. You're giving everybody smoke. I just think we're harping on the wrong things right now.
Yeah, I think Bam.
I'm ready.
The Bam smoke is warranted. I think the Bam smoke is warranted, and even the Lowry to an extent. If you're taking like a season-long view, but for tonight only, I don't think the smoke on Lowry should be going anywhere. Like, he played terrible for stretches. No,
we don't need to go negative. Like, we won the game.
Thank you, somebody. I kind of want to talk about the implications of this game moving forward in terms of the Eastern Conference standings. Thank you, somebody, for the $5 don't know. Said, after this game, I'm feeling better about Gabe taking Duncan's spot after he gets traded for a bag of Doritos. I don't think that's Gabe's spot, but let's talk about Strus, because Strus actually came in and he was kind of filling the Tyler role, where he was designated as part of one of the scorers off the bench. Jonathan, I haven't heard you talk in like 15 minutes, so we're going to go to you. How did you feel Strus played tonight?
I felt like he played his role excellently. I think it was in the second quarter. He had 3 3-pointers that he hit. But he was, like you said, he was filling that role of stretching the floor off the bench perfectly. When that game was getting close in the fourth quarter and Gabe and Kyle were the only people hitting shots, he was able to draw a foul on Nick Vucevic that kind of was able to ice the game a little bit, take it from 4 to 7 points, which is a pretty big gap. So I felt like Max did his job really well. Whenever we got to that zone, he was doing a really good job rotating, defending, running around, scrambling, doing everything he has to do defensively. And obviously he's a pretty good defender, in my opinion, where he has that bulkier body. He's able to take that little bump inside and not let people get around him so much. So I felt like he had a good game. I felt like him stretching the floor is something that, like what Gat said, was continue to translate moving forward. And although Gabe did have a better game, I do still think Strus is that guy that'll be at the back end of the rotation before we see Gabe there.
Oh, Strus over Gabe? Question mark? Gabriel Cartagena?
I don't think you need to have a definitive answer, right? I think you can have games where you go with Gabe, who's definitely a better defender, and you can have games where you go with Strus, who's maybe a more ignitable offensive player. Like, I'll completely concede that Strus has been that thus far. One thing with Strus, I will say, like, I was fine with the way he played. I feel like I understand why he was a DNP coach's decision for the last few games. He doesn't really look all the way like in shape or like explosive from that knee injury. There might still be like some recovery coming back, because that dunk that he had, like the really nice dunk coming off the baseline, like he didn't rise up pretty much as high as I thought he would, because he's had moments where he gets up higher.
Boy almost got hung, Gabriel Cartagena.
Huh?
Boy almost got hung.
I'm just saying, there wasn't the elevation that I'm probably accustomed to, but
from Strus?
he gets up sometimes. Like, I think you're sleeping on that. There's moments where he'll be in transition, he'll get up. So maybe he doesn't look all the way 100%, but I'm happy he was able to close and do it in a way that we won the game. Like, he did his job and we won the game. So I'm happy with Strus. I don't think you need to have an answer for which one you prefer, though. Like, honestly, we just need both of those 10th men to play like 9th man. Like, that's all we need.
Okay. Ricky, you going with the Strus or Gabe, or are you with Gaddy or Cartagena where it's interchangeable?
I think it's interchangeable because I think they both bring different things to the table. I think Strus is, I think Gad might have mentioned it, kind of like a Tyler, like a weird hybrid between Tyler and Duncan in a way. And this was a guy that I had hoped continued to develop all season, mainly because of his, I don't want to say girth, but I just said it. He's a shooter that's a little bit of a thick boy. You know what I mean? So it works. He's tough. He can rebound a little better than Duncan. And as Adner just said, Strus actually does have bounce when his knees aren't hurting. So, no, it's true. Like, he can get up. He's not bad. He is, as one commenter said, sneaky, athletic, and deceptively fast. But, yeah, look, I like Strus. I hope he continues to develop because, I don't want to go to the extreme of, oh, yeah, he's going to make Duncan expendable. But Duncan stinking it up isn't going to hurt as much if you can bring in Strus as like a break in case of emergency type player.
Yeah, I think since you brought Duncan up, I want to talk about Duncan because he's been another target of everybody's vitriol. And tonight, I think Duncan was fine. Like, I had no, like, yeah, he didn't shoot well, 4 of 11 or whatever. But overall, usually when his shot isn't falling, the floor game isn't great. But tonight, I felt like Duncan was fine. Not good, not terrible, but enough. Let's go with you, Gad. Gad, were you good with Duncan's game tonight? Somebody said trade Duncan.
Yeah, like I was fine with it. I'm happy that I feel like it could have been a moment where maybe it would have like snowballed a little bit in the fourth quarter if Duncan kept playing and like maybe he got on a cold streak, but I was fine with the way Duncan played. I just think the weirdest thing, and someone pointed out, I tweeted during the game after Duncan hit his first 2 threes off the dribble. Duncan is shooting 40% on pull-up threes this year. And he's at like 30% on catch and shoot threes. It's just really, his slump is weird because the pull-up threes are objectively more difficult than the catch and shoot threes. So that didn't really make all that much sense to me. But I'm glad the pull-ups are working and he's working to kind of come off and curling off of screens and going downhill a little bit. Even if it's just twice a game, that could be 4 points that end up helping this team down the stretch. But I was happy with Duncan. I thought he was fine. I'm glad Spo didn't force it in the fourth quarter because I feel like it was a game that could have gone either way if Duncan was in. But we didn't have to figure it out. We closed without him, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think Duncan was fine, and I don't think there's much need to talk much more about him. So thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Jonathan. I'm going to stop. Thank you, the weird pastor's kid for the 199. Don't know. Said Jimmy looked hurt at times. I'm worried. Yeah, Jimmy. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler because Jimmy did he seemed like he was a little sluggish tonight. Ricky, I throw this one to you. Talk about Jimmy. Do you believe that Jimmy's hurt, or was this just a mediocre game for Jimmy Butler tonight?
I think he is. I don't think he's like injured, like, oh my God, he's unplayable. No, I think he's hurt. He's been getting bumps and scratches all season. And they haven't been to the point where you're like, oh my God, stop the game. We got to get him off the floor. But they build up. These sorts of things add up after a while. And, I think for a veteran like him, it wouldn't surprise me if he were to start thinking about, man, when's the next extended break for this team? If not Christmas, All-Star break, things like that, because he's going to need some time off to nurse his wounds. I feel like every few games, Every few games, you see him limping off the floor with an injury. Maybe he comes back, maybe not. Like, for example, that Lakers game, I think it was his ankle. And that ankle's been a problem dating back to last season. Not every injury fully heals to the point where it's like, all right, great, good as new. Some injuries can be aggravated, as we see in NBA 2K's My GM mode. But the thing is, that's the reality of it. I mean, Jimmy's going to bring it every night. He's going to do everything he can. But but injuries won't let him do what he wants to until he's able to really fully heal himself and get back to the Jimmy that we know and love. At this point, he is, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem until we start seeing a string of Duncan-like games.
Yeah, sure. I think we saw kind of like what Jimmy Maximize looked like at the beginning of the season when he came back fresh off of rest and all that kind of stuff. And these little nicks and bruises are kind of hindering him a little bit. I think maybe if we get a few more games where we can rest him in those fourth quarters to kind of get him healed up a little bit, then those would be very nice. Thank you, somebody, for the $5 dono. He said Lowry's averaging 7.5 assists per game, and his playmaking has unlocked Jimmy Butler, who's having the best season of his career so far. Chill on him a bit.
No.
Yeah, I will not. Not later on. Maybe tonight. Tonight I'm gonna chill on Lowry. Lowry gets no smoke from me.
Bro, can I ask a question? Just on Lowry.
You just did.
There you go. Can I ask a third question?
Sure.
Okay. So, do you think? Like, Lowry's still been a net positive for this team, right? Like, obviously, it hasn't been to the extent that we needed, but he's still made this team better than it would have been without him.
Oh, correct? For shit, sure. But my thing is, I think what it is for me is, in totality, is the same thing that I said about him tonight. Situationally, in terms of his offensive scoring. Like, not even playing offense, because facilitating, he's been better than what we've had here past couple of years. Defensively, he's been fine. Like, I don't have a problem with Lowry outside of anything other than him being more aggressive, looking for his own scoring opportunities. And I think that, to me, is not like a whole game or all season long. It's just situationally. And I think we've seen a couple of situations where he's kind of like taking a step back. And tonight was one of the nights where he did the opposite. So if he put strings more of these games together, then you're going to hear me get quieter on Lowry, because I think he's been phenomenal. He's been a phenomenal addition outside of that one little thing for me. I don't know what everybody else.
It's the scoring component that's like worried you.
Yeah. It's not about whether or not he can score. It's whether or not he chooses to deploy his ability to score. Like, in close games, in situations where somebody doesn't have it going, we need him to kind of pick it up sometimes. And if he does that, then I don't have any complaints about what Kyle Lowry's offering this team. Jonathan Ramakan, let's talk about the defense tonight, because we did a great job on the Bulls for most of this game. I think we let DeRozan get loose a little bit there, but we did well on Zach LaVine. Vucevic was kept in check. Lonzo Ball had a little run, but he was kept in check. I don't know how in the fuck Caruso dunked on PJ Tucker, but that happened. But overall, I was pleased with the defense. Where were you on tonight's defense, Ramakan?
Yeah, I mean, looking at some numbers real quick, to your point, Nick Vucevic, 3 of 9, 33% from the field, only 7 points. Zach LaVine, 6 of 16, right? And most of those points really were in the last 24 seconds, really, where the game was out of reach. Lonzo Ball, 4 of 12, 3 of 11 from downtown, 33% as well. So 3 of their 4 best players we held to under 37%. And I felt like it was a really good job of just adjusting throughout the game. Nick Vucevic early was kind of abusing PJ Tucker, and that was the matchup that I was really worried about the most, was when PJ Tucker ended up on Nick Vucevic, because Vuce is just a very skilled, underrated big, in my opinion. I mean, we as Heat fans have seen him cook us whilst he's played in Orlando for a very long time. So it's time that, he has a little more respect overall nationwide, which I'm happy to see him get in the Bulls. But I felt like overall we did a good job adjusting, making him get out of his spot so he wasn't as comfortable getting to that little short hook, posting up, getting deep in the post. So we did a great job with him. Zach LaVine, I felt like there was a couple of shots and a few opportunities that he had to really hit some shots, but I felt like those opportunities started to go away because he had the open looks early and he didn't hit them. And then Coach Spo adjusted and we started closing out a little bit more. And then later in the game, when we went to that zone, that was really what frustrated Chicago, because they took that lead. I believe it was early in the fourth or late in the third. And there goes Ricky Dreyer again. And after they got that lead, I think it was a 14-2 run by Miami over the span of 3.5 minutes. And that was all due to the zone and, of course, the shooting of Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry. But the zone that Miami employed was super great because the Bulls went small. Since the Bulls went small, the Heat were able to match up. Just keep one big on there, keep Bam, and then Jimmy as your 4, and then that zone worked really, really well. The defense was phenomenal tonight. They, outside of the last couple of shots, like I said, held them under 100 points. So, yeah, man, I loved it. I love what Coach Spo is doing, and I felt like with everybody that we had tonight, we have the tools so Coach Spoelstra can go into that toolbox and do what he wants to. We don't have too many weak links out there anymore. He kind of can just cover up those spots.
Yeah, Vooch only had 13 rebounds tonight, which is pedestrian by his standards against Miami, where he averages 45 rebounds a game. Gabriel Cartagena, tell me what you thought about the Heat's defense tonight.
I think the reason maybe I'm confident, let's say if we just take this into a playoff perspective, how the teams match up and whatnot, I think this is one of the series where, let's say hypothetically, we got them in round 1, round 2, maybe round 3. PJ Tucker is going to make such a difference because you can throw him on Vooch for a few possessions. You can throw him on DeMar for a few possessions. You can throw him on pretty much anybody for a few possessions. And he's also great at rotating, which is really big against his team. Help defense is huge. PJ Tucker is going to make a huge difference. And Jimmy Butler is just one of the smartest passing lane defenders in the NBA. He had, let me fact check myself real quick. He had 5 steals tonight. 5 steals tonight. He blew up their offense. A lot of their turnovers weren't the Heat's doing. They were just playing stupid in the first half. But Jimmy really blew up their offense. And just having those players that are so savvy off ball, it makes a huge difference against this type of team because you need to force turnovers. They don't turn the ball over a lot. It was uncharacteristic of them. But Jimmy was impressive. PJ was impressive. Really, I thought we had a great defensive performance tonight. I was happy with it. A lot of their shots were contested. I didn't think their offensive process was all that good. They were pretty much happy taking bad shots. And the Heat, I mean, they can force teams into bad shots. So I love the defense tonight. I thought they got outworked on the boards. They got out hustled, but they still out executed the other team, which is really ultimately what you want.
Yeah, we don't have to ask Ricky's washing machine anything. It is belligerent and keeps interrupting anyway. Clearly Ricky's dryer has something to say, but Ricky won't let him talk.
It does, actually. And if anything, it's funny they mentioned this because, like the Miami Heat tonight, my clothes were gritty, grimy, and dirty, and now they're just being rewarded with some cleanliness. This is what Miami's going to do between now and the Heat's next game. They're going to get clean. They're going to, make some more noise, and then they're going to move on to the next opponent. And I think at this point, as we enter December, that's where Miami's going to be well placed or well situated, to borrow a word from a certain other person. To go on a pretty solid run this December, because this was a very good character win for this team.
Yeah,
that's what my washing machine had to say.
Hashtag let Ricky's washing machine speak. That's funny. Thank you, Nicholas Who, for the $4.99. Don't know.
He dropped the comment a little bit higher up if you want to scroll up a little bit.
Okay.
I got you.
I'm not giving smoke to our 4th best player. Bam needs all the smoke, period. Once Bam scores 20 plus, then I'll start giving Cal smoke. Bam has 0 excuses. Have we given Bam enough smoke tonight?
No.
I don't think so, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to keep the show relatively positive after Ricky tried to tank us earlier. But I feel like we've done enough of that positivity shit. Let's get back to our comfort zone and let's get the cracking motherfuckers in their head. Ricky, give Bam. Hold on. Thank you, somebody, for the $5 donut. He said Lowry's getting old. Can't get too mad at the man for slowing down a bit. Duncan stealing our money is a different story, though. Listen, Duncan was fine. We're not going to slander Duncan. We're going to slander the max contract player, Bam Adebayo, right now. Bam, give Bam some of that smoke, Ricky.
Thank you for calling me Bam.
You're welcome,
look,
James.
I think at this point, when Bam puts together 10 straight games of 20 or more points, all right, then maybe he'll be off the hook.
Will he?
That hasn't happened yet, I don't think.
That's
give me
just
10
a weird expectation to put on a player, though.
What?
A player that 20 and 10?
I think the scoring, obviously, you want to see him be more aggressive. But like if 10 straight 20-point games is the benchmark, I just think that's a weird expectation to put on someone.
How's that weird? That's normal for a guy of his caliber, of his talent level. That's supposed to be expected every night. Do I want him to get 27 and 18? That is a bit crazy. We're not talking about Shaq in the NBA Finals numbers. We're talking about a basic starting.
I just think that level of
center.
consistency doesn't come from like almost anybody in the NBA.
Oh.
Like for the player that he is, you've been the first person to say you want to ask him. You're asking him to be someone he's not. Like we know Bam's not that scorer right now.
Well, then guess what? Here's the thing. At this point, if he wants max player money,
He's getting max player money.
He's going to get max player money and the max player criticism that comes with it. Me personally, I'm not paying a guy max money to get 9 points in a big Eastern Conference game.
This is obviously unacceptable. I agree with that.
Right. So my thing is right now, when Bam can show me that I don't have to worry about whether or not he's going to bring it, then maybe he won't be getting the kind of smoke that he's been getting. Because at this point, I mean, when Embiid's healthy, obviously, and in a sense, health in itself is a blessing. But I'm not worried about Embiid not giving me at least 20 and 10. I'm not worried about Jokic for all the stuff Heat Nation says about him. I'm not worried about him not giving me 20 and 10 or any great top shelf big man. I mean, Anthony Davis, I give him smoke all the time because he's arguably the most talented big man in the league. He scored 2 points against the Miami Heat in that fourth quarter that Miami ended up losing. Okay, you and I talked about this, Gad. So everybody if you want to be at that level and you want a salary that is, commensurate with that level of play, expect the criticism. Because here's the thing, this Heat team needs it from him. They're building this team around Bam and to a much lesser extent, Tyler Hero. Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. We need production from our big guy. We can't have him be the max guy and then worry about whether or not, oh my God, he might struggle tonight. They have a slightly longer and bigger center up against them. The great ones don't care about that. Go produce. Okay? If you can't get it inside at the basket, get it from outside. Get your numbers. Stop turning your back to the basket when things start to get tight. We saw that all last year. And look, even with tendonitis, that's not an excuse. I mentioned this a little bit earlier in this episode before. Like, we can't keep doing this. And at this point, and I'll just, round it out with this. Look, Bam has a high expectation. I have a high expectation for Bam Adebayo right now. And Miami should be putting away this Bulls team without having to rely on a Gabe Vincent explosion. Okay, that should be the icing on the cake. We should be running away from this Bulls team because, as I've said from the start of the season, if everyone does what they are supposed to, Bam included, as well as Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, PJ Tucker, and even Markieff Morris when he's not throwing cheap shots at people, this team can beat anybody. But they can if Bam gives you 9, 7, and 6. That's PJ Tucker numbers.
All right, so I want to thank Nicholas Who for the 199 dono. He did comment later. He said Bam should be averaging 18 and 10, period. Gad, I'm going to let you push back on Ricky's points before I let Jonathan be kind of like the tiebreaker.
So I just want to say Bam is averaging 19 and 10. Like, that is what he's averaging right now. So, but
that means sometimes he gets 20 and sometimes he's at 14.
Ricky, I want to ask you, let me just go back to what was it that you said? Because I may have misunderstood. You said you wanted Bam to score 20 points in 10 straight games.
I'd love to see that.
No, but is that what you said? I'm just asking. Like, I want to know what you said.
I want to see 20 and 10 for 10 straight games.
20 and 10 for 10 straight games. Okay. I just feel like that sort of like is really just an arbitrary number that doesn't make all that much sense. But I do
20 and 10 for a big.
20 and 10 on this team, like we can see he's probably third in the pecking order right now in terms of who gets the most shots and whatever.
Get 10 rebounds then. Who's
he's averaging 10 rebounds. Like I'm just saying.
The average
every single game.
That means one night he gets
like 10 straight games. Why does 10 straight games? Why is that the number that you pick?
That means one night he gets 15. That means another night he gets 5. That's how the average works.
Okay, so that's averaging. You're saying 20 and 10 for 10 straight games.
Yes. He's talented enough to do that.
So you're saying average over a 10 game span, or
I want him to get 20 and 10 every night for 10 straight games.
Okay. I
don't think that's an unreasonable expectation.
That's just a weird thing to say. But anyways, like, yeah, I agree with you. I want to see Bam be more aggressive as a scorer, but I mean, my problem with Bam isn't really all that much the scoring. I just think
he is Alejandro
Villavegas. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I just don't think, like, yes, this is a bad game. Bam's been playing well. He's just maybe not been playing to his absolute ceiling.
He was a ghost in Minnesota.
Okay. What, 2 games?
Oh, he's had bad games this season.
No, he's had bad games. He's had good games. He averages out. He's still a damn good player. You're acting like he's legitimate trash. Is he not playing up to expectations? Is he not playing up to expectations?
Right, I like this.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
That's why I'm letting
So, Gad, here's why I love what you just said, right?
Make it short because I got to read these donos.
Of course, I got you. I got you, Royal. I don't think he's trash. It's the fact that I think he's really good that I'm placing these expectations on
Absolutely.
him. I'm not expecting Dedmon to do this. I'm not expecting Markieff Morris to do this. I'm not expecting a 36-year-old Kyle Lowry to give me 19, 10, and 7 every night. I don't expect that. I know what Kyle Lowry's going to be. He's not what Miami paid for in the offseason. I'm not expecting those big numbers from him. I hope that happens, but I'm not expecting that because I know what he is. I know what Bam can be. I've seen the best of Bam.
I agree.
I think he can absolutely do something like that. And him not doing so is him falling short of what he's capable of. He has the athleticism, the strength because of all that work he did on his shoulders. He has all of the tools to go and do that. But instead, he insists on this beta mentality on the floor when if he really wanted to assert himself, who on this Heat roster is going to say, nah, I'm getting my shots first? Jimmy will happily defer
No one
to
should.
Bam
No
if
one should. I
Bam wants
agree.
to take over. Kyle, as we've seen this season, would love to defer to Bam if he's not turning his back to the basket and hunting for that dribble handoff that doesn't exist anymore because we're not in last season anymore. You know what I mean? If he wants to do that, he can. Alonzo Mourning said, this guy's next. He wouldn't have said that if Bam was just 19 and 9 on a good, average, whatever. No. 26 points. He can do that. He showed us that earlier in the season.
One comment from Don't Mind Me is actually like pretty much where my mind is at with this whole situation. It's not the numbers at all. Like I don't care about the numbers that much. It is going to be the aggression. And I don't need him to do it for a full stretch of a game because the Heat, honestly, with the way this team is built, they don't need him to do it for a full stretch of a game if Jimmy Butler.
The numbers reflect that aggression.
I need to see it just situationally at this point from a scorer's perspective. I think he had a great game playmaking tonight. Yeah. Can we agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bam has 6 assists.
Okay, sure, I just think there's still like a figuring out of his role with this team. Obviously, it has not been pretty. But I think, like, I agree with you. I want him to be more of a scorer. It's just like that level of consistency for scoring from Bam is really not going to be there.
Yeah, adding Kyle Lowry to this team definitely changes the dynamic of Bam's role, considering that last year he was the fulcrum of the offense. This year, not so much. He's actually be more of a finisher. And so that is going to take some time to adjust to. I think I heard good points. I think I heard good points on both sides. And I think there's a fine line of difference there because I think you both are saying similar things. Like you want to see more from Bam. I think Gad is more so just like he's doing good things. Like we should be appreciative of what he does well and not just hammering the things that we want to see from him do better. And Ricky's like, yeah, he's done everything else well, but he can be better, so I want him to be better. Thank you, Jason Adebayo, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said Bam scores less than 20. He's not used to being that guy yet. Bam gets less than 10 rebounds. It's the switching defense. Enough with the excuses. There are several of them for him. Thank you, somebody, for the $2. Don't know. He said Lonzo Ball out rebounded Bam. Let that sink in. Sure. Thank you, Don't Mind Me, for the $1.99. Don't know. It's not Bam's numbers. It's his aggression. This is the comment that Gad alluded to. Jonathan Romlicon, you jump in here on the Bam Adebayo. Whose side are you leaning more so towards, Gad or Ricky's?
I have to go with Gad, right? Because he brought up the numbers. He's almost averaging 20 and 10, right? So he's almost doing what we're asking him to do offensively. And to the comments point, we do want to see more aggression out of him. But I was looking at the 6 assists, right? 2 of those were to 3-point shots, and the rest were to 2-point shots. So he did give us 14 points of offense just from his assists. So I think that's something that we got to remember as well. Like 6 assists is pretty good for a center. Like most 98% of centers are not going to give you 6 assists. So his ability to play make is, covered up a little bit more tonight. Do we need to see more shooting from him? We do, right? We didn't see that jump shot at all tonight. We didn't see that little mid-range floater that he's so good at tonight. And I feel like that's the thing that you will see, that'll take this team to that next level. But we're still working into that. We still have a little bit of new players. We have some new developments. Kyle Lowry still running things. Tyler here taking that next step. Jimmy Butler is kind of becoming a little bit more of that focal point on offense as far as that scoring and slowing things down. So I think Bam will round into shape to where we want to see him aggressively. We saw it early in the season. Obviously, the injury is, something we can talk about or not talk about if you want to, but it's there. And I feel like maybe coming out of a couple weeks from now, we're going to be praising Bam Adebayo again because he's going to score 28, give us 13 rebounds, and win us a game.
Yeah, so this is it. This is encapsulating everybody's point. The biggest point is that Bam's game tonight was that he didn't attack DJJ when he was at center. That exactly is when people were looking for Bam to be more aggressive. I think that turns into more points for him. He had Lonzo Ball on him for a possession as well, and he didn't quite attack him the way. Like, it wasn't that he just didn't attack DJJ. It was that he got, like, muscled by DJJ. Like, that shit was – it's not reflective of who Bam should be or who we think Bam can be as a player. Somebody said, are they counting? Oh, make sure you guys like this video. I'm not going to do anything special because y'all make me spend my money on fucking Tyler Hero jersey. But like this video for us. Subscribe to the Five Rings YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, if I can, just one, and this isn't me trying to hammer home. I just want to bring attention to this, right?
Sure.
The first 5 games of the season. I'll just do a quick rundown. When Bam was aggressive, right? Gad, I think we agree he needs to be more aggressive.
Absolutely.
When Bam was aggressive, this is what the stats reflected, right? 20 points, 13 rebounds. Okay, 1 assist. They won. They blew out Milwaukee. He played 23 minutes, okay? Second game, 17 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists. The next game against Orlando, they won by 17. He played 30 minutes. 16 points, 13 rebounds. The next game, 24 points, 9 rebounds. Against Charlotte, 26 points, 19 rebounds. Like, this was the Bam we saw. A lot of us were getting excited about.
Yeah,
he was inactive for Memphis, then he got hurt, right? Then it was 22 and 13, 13 and 7, 17 and 6, 10 and 10, 28 and 10, 30 and 11. Those were against the 2 LA teams where he started off hot and then just pretty much disappeared the rest of the game. Then he was then 13 and 7, inactive for 2 games, 20 and 9, 15 and 6, 15 and 6, 15 and 9, 18 and 3.
So we're really having a lot of recency bias here because you went through like 14 games that I was really happy, and I feel like maybe the last three.
Those sound like top 5 centers in the league to me, Rick.
No, hold on a second. If we look at them first 5 games and we saw what was going on, I was like, okay,
that's an MVP candidate.
Right. Go back to those post-game and pre-game episodes. I was like, this is the Bam we needed to see. I'm pretty consistent. If he does well, great. If he doesn't,
but we also knew that wasn't sustainable.
Games,
we also knew that wasn't sustainable, though. Rick.
It looked like it because he got hurt, and I don't know. But this is what I'm saying. Recently, let me see. If I pull up the averages, I have to do the clicking and all that other stuff. But his aggression was clearly reflected in how he's done in the last, say, 4 games. 20 and 9, 15 and 6, 15 and 9, 18 and 5. That was nothing like what he was in the beginning of the season. If he's like the way he was in the beginning of the season, all right, I'm not going to be freaking out over it. But
nobody is. We're all
night and day, man.
Bam VP. If he's doing what he did at the beginning of the season, all season long. Look, I think everybody's making really good points on Bam, but we spent entirely too much time on it when we got another game that we got to talk about. We got the game coming up on Monday.
Monday Night Raw.
This is where we need to see Bam show up.
Oh, this the one.
This is the one we need to see Bam show up.
You know what? I like that. I like that. This is the game. If we're going to look for any game to look similar to those first couple of games, go ahead, Ramakan.
Yeah, 10 and 10 against Denver. What happened?
You raised your hand. I didn't know what that meant.
He was horrible against Denver. That's probably his worst game of the year.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like I really do want to see what he's going to do. We got the Denver Nuggets. They come into Miami. We all know the history. We all know what's going on. Jonathan Ramakan, the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good. Hey, UD's gonna come out and have his Tyler Hansbrough moment and clobber one of these dudes. Like I guarantee somebody's going down in this game. There's gonna have to be a referee separating these people. We're gonna have Stone Cold Steve Austin come out and stunner Nikola Jokic's brothers in the crowd. So the boy feeling good. I feel like we actually probably blow them out. I feel like we get the ball rolling, we get the emotional energy out of them, and we drain them. And once we drain them, we get going. Like Joseph Blanco said, revenge game, baby.
Oh, for sure. Ricky J. Mark, the boy feeling good?
I am feeling okay. I'm feeling okay. I'm not sure if Jokic is even going to play that night, to be honest with you. I think he'd been dealing with some injury issues. He's been out. He's been out a couple games. That is something I'm concerned about. Oh, well, there you go. So if Denver's lost 6 in a row, I have a feeling they're going to get up for this game. I really do because, Miami had a similar situation with Boston about a week and a half ago, if not 2 weeks ago, and it didn't work out well for them. I think, and I'm going to sound like a broken record here, if this Heat team does what it's supposed to, Denver doesn't stand a chance out there if they do what they're supposed to. If Tyler comes back healthy, if Kyle is effective within his role, if PJ's PJ, and if Bam is aggressive and attacks the basket and attacks these players. And I don't need my center to lead. We're not Denver. I don't need my center to lead the team in assists. I want him to get down dirty and get rebounds and start the break and run and defend and do all that. That's what he's capable of. If he does that, Miami wins by 15.
Yeah, so thank you, Talking Movies, for the $2 donut. He said Jokic down in Denver has lost 6 games in a row. Thank you, Daniel Scales, for the $1.99 donut. He said, Bam, similar to AD, don't have the killer mindset. Okay, maybe.
AD has LeBron. He's lucky.
Yeah, that's true. One thing I will say, though, if Jokic does play, I'm not sure if he will or won't, but if Jokic does play, everybody please expect Bam to get outplayed. Jokic is a better player. It doesn't matter like what the stat line is versus Jokic. It's the way Bam plays versus him that's going to matter to us. Like that's not what the outcome of the game is going to be heavily dependent on how Bam takes that challenge of guarding Jokic. Gabe.
You can call me Gabe. That's fine. That's a compliment tonight.
You know what? Brother. You know what I mean? Now's your boy Gad.
Hey, go get your outfit again, Gad. Now's your chance.
Hey, Ricky, we done told you, bro. You gonna stop picking on Gad, bro.
I'm good on that.
So the boy feeling good?
The boys feeling good. The Heat have had what? 2 of their last 11 on the road, or 2 of their last 11 at home. This team needs to get home. They need to be at home. They need to take a nap or something. They look fatigued, and they were not the team on the back-to-back tonight. I think the Heat should win this game. With or without Jokic on the floor, if you're going to be that good of a team, there's games you have to get up for, and you have to make a statement. This Denver team punched you in the mouth the last time that they played, and then they hit him in the back too. But that frustration for Marquise Morris was because they got absolutely bullied by Jokic the entire game.
Frustration foul.
No, it was a cheap shot. It was a bad foul. It was dirty, whatever, all those other things. But it was culminated out of frustration. You've been playing some good-ish basketball at times and also some bad-ish basketball at times. Let's kind of break out of that rut of mediocrity and get a big win against the Denver Nuggets. Because even if they've lost 6 straight, I don't care. This team's going to get up for this game, like Ricky said. If Jokic plays, Jokic doesn't play. I don't care. They're still going to be a good basketball team. Go ahead, win this game. You need to see Bam show up. I will be the first one to tell you, I think we maybe have been a bit too harsh on Bam. I still believe the criticism is warranted. By all means, it is warranted. I just think sometimes there's moments where Bam's fitting in as a playmaker, Bam's fitting in as a scorer, Bam's fitting in as a defender. He needs to find a game where he can do everything in one. And I want to see that on Monday. Hopefully he's able to bring it, make Ricky happy, make me happy, make Ro happy, make Ramakan happy. This should be a big game for the Heat. I'm excited. I hope there's no malice in the palace shit because this team is really good. They don't need any of that stuff. Maybe some text, whatever. Nothing too crazy. No Isaiah Stewart stuff. I really want to see the Heat win this game. I think they will.
Yeah, y'all know me well enough, bro. There's nothing that they can try and make me happy. I will find a reason to be miserable. You hear me? I will find. And as far as the comment about booing Jokic, they're going to boo the shit out of Jokic on this game, bro. Every time he looks at the court, they're going to boo the fuck out of him. And I'm going to be right here in my house doing the same thing. Excuse me. All right, guys. Y'all know what I'm going to say. The Heat about to blow that shit out. Fuck is you talking about? Denver is on a 6-game losing streak. They about to be 7. We are the better team. We should have proven that last time, but we'll prove it this time. I do believe Bam will be more aggressive. They have nobody that can guard Jimmy Butler. And this is the new Kyle, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Kyle of the future. Big shot Kyle. Whenever we need it, he coming through. That's how I feel about Kyle Lowry now. I've changed my tune on him already. And then guess what? We might also get the boy back, Tyler Hero. He just didn't want to come out here and have a flu game on the Bulls. That's the reason why my boy sat out. I just want to put that out there. He had 60 in the chamber. He might unclip that bit on Monday. So y'all be on the lookout for that. He's about to blow that shit out. We win it. Somebody talk about cap. There ain't no cap. That's right. So, Thank you guys in the comments, as always, for joining us, making the show much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to my guy, Gabriel Cartagena, Ricky J. Mark, Jonathan Ramlakan, and Miss Lynette for joining us today, making a special guest appearance. Make sure you visit her at insurancebylynette.com or at A Aggressive Insurance at 954-581-8800 for a free phone quote. Also, make sure you visit CPT Florida for any of your IT needs for your small businesses. Great stuff from everybody, as always. Little late with the pop-up, Jonathan Ramacon, but I will forgive you. Somebody, thank you for the buzzer beater. $2 dono. He said, are we going to see Haslam on Monday at the start of the game, my boy? Royal biggest character development. Thank you. Somebody said, thank you guys. Happy late Thanksgiving to you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't talk to you guys.
I
didn't tell none of y'all that shit on Thanksgiving because I was too busy stuffing my goddamn face.
That's right.
And it was it was fabulous. So we will see you guys on Monday when the Heat take them on. I'm going to get some sleep because I just finished a 12-hour drive to get back home before this game. And I will talk to you guys. Yeah, I drove home from Key West today.
Ooh.
Play the video, Jonathan.
Jimmy buckets, clutch time.
Tyler Hero, what a finisher he's become.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh, that's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.